Hi, it's me, the originator of comparing messaging a girl to being a medieval court jester. Couple months back, I see this image everywhere online with the caption, "This is how it feels to DM a woman." When 3 years ago in a video I made about dating apps, I said this. Coming up with something unique and semi-clever to comment on every profile that I'm interested in, it gets exhausting. After a while, I start to feel like a medieval court jester.
We'll get along if my dog likes you. Don't worry, your dog will love me because when I meet him, I'll wear an elaborate dog costume, Your Majesty, and he'll think I'm one of his own kind.
Yet that video only got like 2,000 views, but you do the same exact joke as a tweet and it does gangbusters? That settles it for me. If there is a god, he is not a just one. So picture this, it's the year 2026 and a young boy is just starting to be interested in girls. So naturally, with the unrestricted internet access that society has entrusted him with, he looks up something innocent, like advice on getting a girl to like you, and thus is plunged headfirst into the world of modern relationship discourse. Now, obviously, there are many voices in this space that can offer you positivity, hope, and good advice in regards to relationships and dating. Those voices young boys could benefit from being exposed to. But that still leaves thousands of other voices giving their takes on the complicated and sensitive subjects of dating, relationships, men, and women. A good amount of content this young boy might see is made by women, which is great in theory. I mean, who better to teach you about how you should treat women than women? But first of all, women aren't a monolith, so he'll be able to find women out there who are giving out every good and bad piece of dating advice imaginable, making it impossible to know exactly what he should be listening to. But also, more often than women giving advice, he'll hear frustrated women voicing their grievances with and often hatred of men. And listen, I know that historically, men have more than earned every negative reputation they have. And I'm sure that based on the lived experiences of most of the women voicing their hatred, that it's completely justified and they have the right to voice that publicly. I'm not even saying they should stop. But what I am saying is that I could see how for this theoretical young boy who I'm still running with the metaphor about, for him with no dating or relationship experience, I could see for him it being discouraging and confusing that it seems like so many women are mad at him for behavior he hasn't even made the mistake of participating in yet, you know? So feeling kind of discouraged and unwelcome, the young boy instead gravitates to online spaces and voices where he does feel welcome. Voices the algorithms seem almost eager to present him with. And those are, of course, a variety of red pill alpha male influencers who make a bunch of incorrect but sweeping declarations about women and dating, all in the hopes that they can convince this impressionable, lonely, insecure, horny young boy to convince his parents to pay for a virtual pickup course.
If this is something you would like to learn, not only in greater detail, but by me personally, then we have some spaces open on our mentorship program where, again, you have live and direct access to me 7 days a week.
I guess the money from all their supplement sponsorships isn't enough. Which reminds me, I'd like to thank my friends at Bellesa for sponsoring this video. It's Bellesa's mission to empower everyone to explore, embrace, and celebrate their sexuality. And together, we're giving away free toys or gift cards to anyone who signs up for the giveaway linked below. So you can more affordably get your hands, or other body parts, on products like the Pebble, which has independently controlled suction and vibration, no annoying pattern modes, and is designed to fit perfectly in your hand. The Tush, which is rechargeable and remote controlled, and whether you prefer a gentle hum or powerful pulse, is sure to hit the spot. The Ultra Blow, which has 8 thrusting and rotating speeds and ribbed inserts for maximum pleasure. I mean, just look at it go with those wild moves. Also, knowing my audience, I think a lot of you might enjoy all the strap-ons and harnesses in the LGBTQ+ section of their site, designed to celebrate every body, identity, and kind of desire, and to help you explore, connect, and feel empowered in your pleasure journey. Again, free toys or gift cards to anyone who signs up for the giveaway linked below, and thanks again to Bellesa for sponsoring this video. And then this young man takes in all this misogynist bullshit, mistreats treats the women he tries to date, those women say they hate all men online, and the cycle of the two genders despising each other continues. As in, like, the two main... I know about non-binary people, okay? But in all honesty, the discussions surrounding dating and relationships in this video are mostly gonna be regarding straight relationships between a man and a woman. As I said yesterday to my lesbian roommate when she asked me to do the dishes, I just don't have time for the queers today. So these young boys won't listen to women online, and the men they're listening to are mostly just lying to them and exploiting their loneliness and anger for profit. So I thought that today I could try to be a sort of Trojan horse, hiding the opinions of women in a container that the young men may just allow into their gates of knowledge. Now I know they'd probably be more willing to listen to me if I was jacked, bald, and had a tattoo of legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi, instead of looking like the performative male final boss. And I know how I look combined with the subject matter of this video is tempting a lot of you to comment, "She's not gonna let you hit, little bro." And to those people, please just shut up. I'm not saying any of this to improve my personal luck with the ladies. I just think society would be better without men and women hating each other so much. And all these idiots dishing out terrible advice to millions of boys is causing exactly that to be the case. So what I did is I watched a bunch of these successful red pill influencers give dating advice to their audience, and then I posted a survey on my community tab here and on Instagram asking women who date or have dated men to fill it out. And like 180 people responded, way more than I thought would, so thank you, ladies. In the survey, they were asked how they would feel about a man who follows the advice of these influencers, as well as what these influencers have to say about women in general. Just to prove that generally, women aren't gonna like you if you listen to and act like these ghouls. Now, I know a lot of these influencers would argue that this doesn't prove that because they often insist that women actually have no idea how they'd prefer men to act.
I just ignore almost everything that women say because it's almost all bullshit. Because you ask women, like, what do you want in a guy? And then you look at the last 20 guys they fucked and they have like almost none of those things on the list. So like asking, which is why like women dating coaches are just like such a waste of time.
And that is just a weird and stupid thing to say, to be honest. If you believe that, you're probably a lost cause. So let's start with the most famous and successful of this genre of man, Andrew Tate, who I had kind of assumed had lost favor with most of his fans after he was charged for human trafficking. But then I had a coworker like a year ago, a grown man by the way, who told me on his first day that he loved the guy. And when I of course brought up the human trafficking, he said those were false allegations. And like, dude, regardless if you think the charges were valid or not, if a guy has any reputation as a human trafficker, I'm not gonna proudly bring up to my coworkers how much of a fan I am of him. God, and the job was working with kids too. But yeah, apparently ol' Andy T still has his fans. So let's hear what you ladies had to say about some of the dating advice he gave on this one podcast where everyone has tiny ass water bottles for some reason.
As a man, we live in hyper-competitive environments. I don't think enough men understand how competitive the world is. If you want a girl, you're competing against other men. You're not the only man who had the idea of getting that girl. There's no girl you're gonna see and go, I'll get that girl, and didn't cross anyone else's mind. Everybody else wants her. You have to outcompete other men. You have to be as competitive as possible.
For any girl you might like, you're competing with tons of other men. Not even conventionally attractive straight women specifically. This is just the case for all women. Even some nomadic woman living in the Arctic whose existence is known only by the wildlife. Somehow multiple men are in competition for her. So when asked if you felt this was true when you're single, the vast majority of you said no, you did not. Obviously, I expected that a few people would. For an infinite amount of reasons, some people are gonna have more admirers than others. It depends on what you look like, how likable you are, how many men know or know of you. And a lot of you said you only felt it was true when using dating apps. Which makes sense, but I also don't know if I'd consider every man who likes a woman's dating profile to be in serious competition for her. Only the guys she ends up talking to, which could still be a lot of people, but again, this isn't the case for every woman.
I'm every
woman. And yes, there could always be more men interested in a woman than she's aware of, but I'd really only consider someone competition if they were actively pursuing the same woman as me romantically and that she was also entertaining their efforts, which can really only be so many people.
You have to be as successful as possible in all realms. You have to be as good looking, as funny, as smart, as spontaneous, as interesting, as charismatic, as rich as possible.
You must be successful as possible in all realms. Vanquish the goblins of the ice realm. Be crowned king of the ape people in the jungle realm. And finally, defeat the dark emperor in the shadow realm. Only then will a fair elven maiden consider laying in your bedchambers. The use of the word realms is so funny, but is what he's saying true? That you have to be perfect in every facet of life? No woman would even consider you a romantic option if you have any flaws, basically. Again, vast majority said no. Obviously, they'd prefer you're not a total loser and have some things going for you. Though one of you did claim broke dudes lay best pipe, but most of you seem to understand that being as successful as possible in all realms is an impossible standard to hold anyone to. What is he, God? And that our imperfections are what make us human.
In general, if a woman is going to dedicate herself to a man, then that man has to be all-encompassing. He has to be a man who can fix most of her problems.
A woman wants a man who will fix all her problems. Women will only date a man who will provide everything for her and would prefer not to do anything herself, apparently. Yet again, most of you disagreed that you expect a man who will solve all your problems. Yeah, help in ways you can to prove their life's ultimately better with you in it. But that's another impossible standard to hold anyone to, and anybody who expects it is bound to be disappointed. I think the only women who can reasonably expect their men to fix everything for them are Sergeant Calhoun, Wendy, and Kelly. That was a real stupid joke.
Not many people consider that he also has to provide drama for her. He also has to be entertaining for her. If a woman only talks to you and you're the only man in her life, and there's never any drama or there's never any, I wouldn't say conflict, I'm not saying necessarily start an argument, but if there's never any drama, because drama is excitement, then they're going to naturally try and find drama somewhere else, and that always ends very badly for the man. You don't want them to try and find drama outside of the relationship. You have to shock her a bit. You have to be the person who can upset her. You need to be entertaining, all-encompassing from head to toe. Women want to be with a man which keeps them entertained.
I don't even get this one. For me personally, I think drama is stressful, so if somebody adds drama to my life, that's not a good thing. I guess some people might like drama and be attracted to someone who causes it, but that's kind of like unhealthy behavior and probably not somebody that I would want to attract. And most of you agreed, the less drama, the better. Beyond like light-hearted arguments, but I don't think that's what Tate is referring to here. He's implying all women secretly want to be with like a womanizing criminal like him. And like, yeah, maybe some do. But again, that sounds like a toxic person who I wouldn't want to be with. Then in another video, Andrew Tate says this.
I'll sit with a girl and very politely say, look, if we're going to be in a relationship, if I'm going to take you seriously, you're not going to have male friends. If you want to hang around with a whole bunch of men, then I'm not going to take you seriously. What do you mean you won't take me seriously? I mean, we can fuck, but I'm never going to look at you as serious material. So the idea, the decision is on you. If you want to be serious, you're not going to talk to those guys. You want to talk to those guys, I'll fuck you sometimes. And I lay it on them. Now, if they choose to keep all their male friends, then that means she's chosen these friendships over me, which means sooner or later she was going to cheat anyway. Like, how long until she jumps on a new dick anyway? So why would I even be upset about it?
I love how he's not even specifying straight male friends, as if gay men don't exist and are friends with women often. But personally, I'd imagine worrying a woman will cheat on you with any other man in her life would give the impression that you don't trust her and that you're extremely insecure. And pretty much all of you agreed with me, saying that you'd never even consider being with a man who sets that boundary, and that in general, not having or believing in platonic friendships with women is a big red flag because it kind of implies you don't see them as people, which, go figure, is something that women don't like.
Male attention's hyperinflated and women women enjoy unlimited male attention.
When asked if you enjoyed unlimited male attention, pretty much all of you said no.
The way you put value on something is to restrict it. So I restrict my attention absolutely. So if I'm talking to a girl and she says something semi-sarcastic to me, or if she doesn't do what I want her to do, or she won't listen to me, I'll just stop replying. I won't insult her. I won't try and convince her. I'll just stop replying. Bang, just vanish.
Then when asked how you'd feel if a man didn't like you saying anything semi-sarcastic to him, similar to the no male friends rule, you guys said this reeks of insecurity and that the ability to tease and be sarcastic with a romantic partner is a must for you. He also brings up that he won't talk to women about his work and that they don't care how shady or mysterious that is because they know that work is what funds her luxurious lifestyle.
I've had relationships with women for 5 or 6 years and they never knew my job. And I'll just say to them, look, if you know things, even though I don't do anything wrong, but if you know even who I associate with, you know things, then you have to lie. Isn't it easier if you just don't know? Then you gotta lie, right? So I'm working. What's work? Work's work. You're on a jet. You're on a jet.
And obviously, when asked if this was the case for you, most of you said hell no, and that if you suspected his wealth was coming from somewhere unethical, you would absolutely confront him about it. A recurring theme I've noticed with all these alpha male guys, but especially Andrew Tate, is that the generalizations they make about all women are pretty obviously just based on the aspiring trophy wife type women that they mostly interact with. The type more likely to prioritize qualities like wealth and status over anything else in a romantic partner. And that seems so obvious to me, but I know so many young boys are hearing him say these things and think it also applies to the girl in their biology class. All right, let's move on from Andrew Tate to Myron Gaines, known for hosting the podcast Fresh and Fit. Before I even asked anything about his dating advice, I asked if you would consider dating a guy who unironically owns a Trump Christmas sweater. And again, not a single person said yes. I guess for some reason, women aren't into guys who are proudly fans of a pedophile. Go figure.
Hey guys, do me a favor. Can y'all like the video? We got only 1.1k likes. So we got 2,600 ninjas watching right now. It's Christmas. Streaming on Christmas. Giving you guys this game. Like the video for me. Let's hit 2,000.
How do so many people look up to this guy who has nothing better to do on Christmas Day than complain about women on a live stream? So Myron also talks a lot about how women supposedly value above all else your money and status.
Planning the place. Telling her what to wear, and then pay for everything. Those three things. They're 3 steps, but they're all together. Yeah. Right? And the reason why, guys, is that these 3 things shows leadership, it asserts dominance, and it puts the girl in her feminine, okay? I can't tell you guys how many times girls go on dates, and what they won't tell you is that they're nervous that you might try to get them to pay half the bill. All right?
So I asked if that was true, if women are often nervous about having to split the bill on a first date. Most said not at all, and that for a first date, most expect or even prefer it.
And the other reason why it's important for you to plan a date is because you deal with some girls, right? There's some girls that will sit there and tell you, oh, I want to go here. Nah, man, that's not how this is going to go, because what's she going to do? She's going to pick the most expensive steakhouse in town.
No, she's not. In fact, for a first date specifically, many of you said that you prefer something low stakes, meaning low stakes. And there generally just seems to be a lot of understanding that these are tough times and that everyone is struggling financially.
You always plan a date, have 2 to 3 cool places. You tell her what to wear. You control the frame in every single situation. And then you be exciting. Oh, it's a secret where we're going to go next. Yes. Or you could tell her, oh, if you behave, I'll take you to this cool spot that I know.
While a few people said this could be funny if it was said very clearly as a joke by someone they had been with for a long time, most said understandably that they'd prefer not to be talked to like a dog or a child.
If she's a mildly attractive girl, don't take her to Subway or fucking Burger King or McDonald's or some shit. The only chick that's going to accept that is some hood rat, disgusting creature. Oh my God.
Yeah, and women also don't like hearing you refer to other women as hood rat, disgusting creatures. All right, that's enough of Myron. Another of these guys I wanted to briefly talk about goes by the username Playing with Fire, and he gives a lot of advice about how to talk to women on dating apps specifically. He often shows his dating app conversations with girls as an example, and I'm 99% sure these are completely fake conversations that he writes himself because the girls are always impressed by everything he says.
So I asked her for Instagram because I want to see more pictures of her, because on her Tinder, she had a few cute ones, but I'm not a guy that's just super fucking sold on it right away. I can see a nice booty pic, before I'm ready to meet up. So I say, yes, now I'm just wondering what you look like without what the rest of you looks like, right? And then she sends me, she's like, oh, cheeky. And then she sends me a picture of her in her underwear and a very nice booty pic, like top-notch material. So I say, oh my, I'm a sucker for a nice booty.
So believe it or not, when asked how they would feel about a guy who would refuse to meet them in person without seeing an ass pic, most women said they wouldn't like it. Also, in another video where this guy's suggesting things to comment on women's Hinge profiles, he admits to not knowing what a dachshund is.
I go crazy for dachshunds. So I could be like, I could just make a joke out of that. Oh, you and your, I don't even know what the fuck this is, but it sounds kind of exotic. So, oh, you and your dachshunds. Bam.
Okay, then how about open another tab to look up what they are before making a comment about them on a woman's profile? And again, a guy with this level of intelligence is someone who so many young boys see as an aspirational figure. All right, now we're gonna move on to Sneako, one of the most influential voices in this space.
To wear a fake wedding band. You know why? Perfect conversation starter. So, where's your wife? Oh man. So you can go two routes. You can go the joke way. Either way, you gotta tell her the truth, but you could be like, actually, she passed away. It's pretty unfortunate. She passed away, but I keep this as a reminder of her. Oh my God, that's so sweet. Nah, I'm just lying. Hey, what's your name, baby? You wanna go out and how about you die and then I'll be sad about you? Or you could just be like, well, no, it's not a wedding band, but it's about the woman that's closest to my heart. Who? My mom. Oh my God! And you end. Fake wedding ring. Bro, I was like, that's fucking genius. That's better than a dog.
Yeah, most women would be put off by a guy who wears a fake wedding band to start conversations with them, as that means he's lying to every woman he talks to. So, has my point been sufficiently proven? Hearing from 180 different women, pretty much all of them said they'd be offended by and far from romantically interested in anybody who seriously listens to the advice and beliefs espoused by these insecure, grifting idiots. The philosophy preached by these guys will not get you a fulfilling monogamous relationship or even a lot of people wanting to sleep with you. And in general, these are just not guys you should aspire to be anything like. I'd highly suggest, if you haven't, watching Louis Theroux's Inside the Manosphere documentary on Netflix, which features a lot of the same influencers I talked about here today. Not only does it further illustrate how selfish and miserable these guys are, but it also outs a lot of them as Nazis.
Who pushed feminism? The fucking Jews. Who pushed homosexuality? The Jews. See, these are the conversations they don't want you to hear.
And even though I'm far from some all-knowing Casanova who always knows the correct decision to make in dating, I feel it's kind of unfair for me to so aggressively denounce the advice that these guys give without providing any alternative advice of my own. And I know this might be something people say annoyingly often, but I really think the best advice I can give is to just be friends with women platonically who you don't have any romantic or sexual intentions with, so that you can learn to see them as just people and not some unknowable foreign species. And that'll help you to be more comfortable and understanding towards the women you are pursuing romantically. But that's not to say that dating is easy right now. God knows that it hasn't been for me. Everyone has become so chronically online and introverted. There are a plethora of economic and infrastructural factors making it harder than ever to meet new people and to afford to do things with the new people you meet. But despite what these guys tell you, none of this is women's fault. And as dudes in this shitty societal moment we find ourselves in, I think the least we can do is treat the women we are able to connect with like good faith and understanding. And just think, while we are single, broke, and depressed, at least it'll make the new Spider-Man movie all the more relatable.